Hey y'all, what's going on? So, I am coming to y'all today with a new story time. Okay, the shirt. Okay, so I'm coming to y'all today to talk to y'all about this story time that is going to remind y'all a little bit about the story time Friday. And it is the time that I got fired on my day off. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, so at this time, I want to say I was like 18. So I was 18, and to put things in perspective, I would say about 4 months prior to this, I had 4 or 5 months. I had just graduated high school. So I graduated, and I was whipping, and I was like, okay, I was working at this place, grocery store. And those of y'all that know me, if y'all used to work with me, y'all was cool AF. And some of my homegirls was like, girl, this real popular call center that my older brother worked at while he was in college that I knew at the time was paying bank. They was like, yo, they paying, yada, yada, yada. And they having open interviews. Let's go. Let's try to get a better job. Because at the time, even though this grocery store, they was paying more than like the average jobs in our area. Even though they were paying more than average, I was like, I'm moving out. I got my baby. Okay, I am getting my own place. I'm not, okay, so a lot of what the common thing around that time is if you had a child, a lot of people, either you were on government assistance where they paid your rent, or you were doing like an income-based program. I wasn't on any of that. And the income-based programs were like years long. I didn't have time for that. So I was like, I'm going to have to get a job that's going to be able to cover my rent in full because I ain't got time to be waiting. I got to move out now. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, I got to go. So I was like, dang, if I get this job, when I get this job, because we're getting things into it. Just when I get this job, I'm going to move out. I'm going to take care of my son. I'm popping, okay? Not popping like in other standards because I didn't care about that. I was just like, I need to do what I got to do for my son because it's the next level for us. So I was like, okay, they having open interviews at this time. So a bunch of us were like, we going up in there. So it's open interviews. Of course, I see the people that I work with. This is really like, we staged a coup, okay? Because we all worked at this place. It was a whole bunch of my friends that were girls and a bunch of our co-workers that were guys too. And so we all up in there and we're like, we're about to get this cash, okay? We about to get this check. So open interviews, I get up in there and I come dressed like a professional, okay? So I had a lot of professional clothes because in high school I was in programs that were like teaching us about how to conduct ourselves and dressing professionally and all this other stuff. So I had a lot of business clothes and I came dressed to the nines. Okay, I had my dress slacks on and my dress shirt, and I was like, I'm going to answer these questions A1. So I come and I was like, I was like, I'm going to get this job. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. We can't be here together. I'm going to get this job. Okay. It's me and my baby. Okay. So I go and in my mind, when they come around the table and they asking everybody what their answers is, child, I'm answering these like a business professional in my mind. In my young 18-year-old mind, I'm giving the best answers possible, okay? Detailed examples. I mean, I am doing it, okay? So we get to the next rounds. They tell us, get to the interviews. I get the job. So we get through, get through the interview process, and we get through the interview process. Just a second. Okay, so we get through the interview process. Me and a couple of my other friends, we get the job. So now it's training. And training happened. I got the job. At this point, I'm like, cool. So we get through training. Everybody hits the floor. Then we start to like really see what it is. I'm like, this place is ghetto. As I'm not only Like as an adult now, I'm like, okay, most call centers are ghetto. Okay, and it be drama. And but I'm thinking at the end of the day, I'm here to get this money because I got a son to provide for, and I got to do what I got to do. So I'm going to school at the same time. So I'm in college. At the time I was going to school for dental hygiene. I was going to school to be a dental hygienist, yes. So and this is a little mini thing, but if you are in college and you've changed your major several times, do not feel bad about that, y'all. When I was in school, when I graduated, when I was in high school, I thought that I wanted to be a pediatrician. When I got to, by the time I graduated, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a dental hygienist. Got in that program. I was like, no, I ain't doing this. So then I kind of like realized I like more artsy things. And I was like, do I want to go and do this? I started taking some classes in that area, kind of changed and shifted. So if you got to change your major several different times, that is normal. Don't let nobody make you feel bad about changing that. Do what you got to do to find yourself and find your path and your purpose, but don't stop going. Just keep doing it and change your major as many times as you need to. Get them core classes out the way, but find what you need to do for you, and don't let nobody talk no SHIT to you. Just continue to go to school and do what you got to do. I'm gonna get that out the way. But I was also in college and do what I needed to do. So during this time, we are not, even though we're going through training, but we have no idea what we're gonna face once we hit this floor. So we start to get in our mind what it's gonna look like when we hit the floor. So we start going to the break room. Okay, y'all, so forgive me for that. But yeah, so we kind of started to get a feel of what the workplace was like when we would go to lunch. So we would see like how people were, what energy they would have when we would go to lunch, and kind of like see people, and everything like that. Also, we got a feel of what our manager was going to be like when she would come in. So our manager was a female, and she was an older female at that time, older speaking from my age at 18 at that time. She was in her mid to late 40s. And yeah, so she had like a shortcut. She was like a fair skinned, heavy set woman, and she just came in, and we were like, okay, whatever, that's cool. And we didn't really think anything of it, so she comes in, she introduced herself, and we were like, okay, she seems like she's gonna be cool, like that's what's up. So we are about to hit the floor now. At this time, everybody hits the floor. Now, mind you, we build a relationship with these people, like our teammates, like that, because basically at this time, the people that we're in training with, they're on our team. And a lot of these people came from my old job, because we left like a mass amount of people that I worked in this old grocery store with came to the new place with us. So the crazy part is, when we went from, what's so crazy? I'm gonna tell y'all this part. But when we left our old job, a lot of people came with us. So we hit the floor, and they had these goals that seemed like they were so crazy. They were hard, y'all. But I'm not gonna say that I'm a person that like, oh, I'm gonna always hit them goals. No, I just don't focus on that. I just do the best that I can do and let the chips fall where they may. So we are learning, and we are learning. And you guys, this call center was brutal. Okay, it, like any call center, they will be quick to walk you out. And I'm trying not to give too many details, but so they do not come up here. Do not come up here. I'm trying not to let my kids come in the studio. But so at this point, they give us, it's not like a super salesy job. It's actually like, yeah, I don't want to say that either because I feel like I'm gonna really give it away. But so we had opportunities to, sales, and of course you have to give good customer service, but you have certain milestones that you are supposed to hit throughout this job, and make sure that you are, doing a good job. So we are doing this, and when I tell y'all, left and right, within like the first week, 2 or 3 people had already been walked out. That tap on that shoulder, come here. That was happening, and it was happening often. And I'm not thinking about it. I'm just like, God, you got me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I come into this job and I do what I'm supposed to do, that's just that. You know what I'm saying? So keep in mind that I don't know anybody else's situation, but I wasn't missing days. I wasn't coming in late. I was doing what I was supposed to do. Now, at this time, my schedule was insane. And when I say insane, for me being a mother and being a student, it was insane. Because I went to work at 5 and I got off at like 2 in the morning. Imagine what that looked like. I had to be up early in the morning because my son still had to be at daycare at like no later than 8. So I would get off and only be able to watch my son sleep. And then he would be out of daycare, and what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm doing what I have to do to take care of my son, but I'm not, it's not feeling super great. But at the same time, I've always been able to like focus and be like, I got to do what I got to do. And even though it doesn't feel great at the time, I know that this is not where I'm always going to be. It was a means to an end. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing what I got to do. And meanwhile, since I'm cool with the people that I work with, a lot of them know that I just moved. I moved. And so, because even though I may have been talking to like some of my guy coworkers to see if they could help me move, because I'm a female, and I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna help me move, whatever. And I can't remember if they did or if they didn't, I don't know. But I know that I would be at my desk and I'm writing my grocery list because I'm so excited. I'm grocery shopping for my house and my son. So we're talking about like, oh, I'm talking to my girls and I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this and I'm getting new furniture and everything. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah. So I'm not really stunting anything. I'm talking to my girls. We're all around like, well, I'm not gonna say we all around the same age, because I was like 18. I was like one of the youngest, and I had a homegirl. She was like 19. Some people were like 20, but we were all like in the younger range. The oldest one was like our manager. So I was talking to this dude, and we're gonna call him K, and K was like, oh, like, oh, you're gonna be cooking up, some arroz con pollo. And I was like, oh, I do need to go get some adobo. We were talking about stuff like that. And because he was telling me, because his girlfriend is Puerto Rican, and he was like, yeah, man, my girl, she be cooking that. And we were talking about the list of seasonings and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I do need to go pick some of that up. And then she was like, oh, girl, the holidays is coming up, because it was about to be around the time of Thanksgiving. So, and I was like, yes, I want to have like the first holidays at my house. I want to have Thanksgiving in my house. And I was like, I want to do it so different. And I want like my family to come over to my house for the first time. And we were talking about all of that. And, we were just kicking back. So at this time, people still getting walked out. But this is just, we're starting to understand that this is just the culture of it. Now, mind you, at this time, it's getting closer and closer, because now these are my friends that are being walked out. And I'm like, dang, at this time, I'm not going to say I'm the only one, but I'm one of the only ones that are still there. And I remember, because I had just got this big sale, and I got this big sale because it had a big installation that was like $200, you know, and I was like, yes. And I think I was the first person to even get that. And I was like, yes, the guy said yes, and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I was happy and cool. So, my manager ended up pulling me to the side, and she was like, I wanted to talk to you. And she was like, let me ask you something. She's like, you live by yourself? And I was like, yeah. Because one, I don't talk to her, and I don't talk to her about my business. And I was like, why do you know this? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, why do you live by yourself? You need to live with your parents. You need to move back home and yada, yada, yada. And I didn't say nothing to her. I was just like, you are way too grown to be up in my business. You need to mind your business. Like, that's what I'm thinking at this point. I done moved out. Mind your business. So she was like, yeah, you know, because she had a daughter, and her daughter had a couple kids, and they lived with her. And I was like, but her daughter was grown. Like, her daughter was in her late 20s, almost 30. And so, I was just like, that's your daughter's business. If she want to live with you, that's her business. I understand she could save whatever, but it's not my mother's responsibility to take care of me and my kids. And it's not my grandmother's. It's not nothing. I want to be out here on my own. I made this baby. I'm going to take this baby on my own. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I desire to be out here on my own, living my own life, taking care of my own family. But I'm not saying that to her. I'm just listening to her because I'm just listening to her. So she's like, yeah, all this other stuff. Mind you, we supposed to be just having a check-in. This is just her supposed to be telling me how I'm doing. She tells me, oh, you're doing great. You're doing good. Your calls are going well. She's showing me my metrics, and I'm doing good. So I go back to my desk, and the conversation rubbed me the wrong way, because I was like, girl, don't be up in my business. You don't need to be telling me what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not your friend, okay? No. And then I'm just wondering, like, how you even know what's going on up in here anyway? But needless to say, so put a pin in that, mind you. Okay, so let me tell you about this boss. So she was pushing up on this dude. Now, let me tell you about this one dude, right? So this one dude was fine. Okay, now, I ain't gonna cap. And he was fine, and he was diesel, okay? He was like a slim diesel, though. Like, he wasn't like over the top diesel, but he was like a slim, nice diesel. And he had a nice looking face. He was educated. I remember he had just graduated with his degree. He was probably like 24 when I was 18. So my friends was 19, and everybody was like, all the girls on the team was like, oh, okay, he got it. He got that. I think, I don't know his name, but we're going to give him the name like Clayton or something. And so, Clayton was fine, and all the girls, even that wasn't even on our team, people was noticing him. He dressed so well. He was very well put together, always smelled good, just educated man, black. He was just haircut nice. I mean, he was just straight. And so she used to always be pushing up on Clayton with her old self. And I'm saying, oh, because at that time, she was a smooth 20-something years older than him. And he used to be like, now he's a very respectful man. Like, you could tell he was raised right. He was a Southern guy, a Southern respectful guy. He wasn't like a hood guy. He was just like, not like lame, because you could tell he was like, I think I don't know what university he went to, but you could tell he was still in a culture, like black culture, but he was just very respectful. And he would be like, nah, man, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she would be pushing up on him, but she would push up on him all the time. And all the young girls, we would be like, what is wrong with her? But she would be throwing herself at him all the time. And let me get his manager a name. I don't even want to give her a name. Thotty. Okay, so Thotty would be throwing herself at him all the time and would be looking a fool, because you are old enough to be this man's mama. You are old enough to be this man's mama. And I'm trying to understand why you are throwing yourself at him like this. One, as a woman, I don't think that that's attractive. I feel like if a man wants you, he gonna get you, boo. I mean, I'm not saying to be old-timey. I'm not gonna say be old-timey, but I'm not saying that it's not acceptable to let a man know that you're interested in him, because you're very well to do that. You know, you can say like, you know, you looking good, I'm interested. You can make the first move. But if brother man don't start moving them feet, oh, move that, okay? He has to show you that he's interested in some way, shape, or form. Now, don't get me wrong. I had a thing for Clayton too. Not like, ooh, like I'm never like fiending after a dude, but I definitely thought he was very much so attractive. I did. But I'm not the type of woman like, if I think you're attractive, I like think you're attractive, but I would never, you ain't gonna know that. I'm not gonna put myself out. Okay. Like you might not, if you notice subtle things, like he would talk to me here and there, you know what I'm saying? If you're interested in me, you'll find out that, oh, I kind of have a thing for you, or yada, yada, yada. But outside of that, ciao. Waiting on me, you boo, you freeze, okay? Because I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to do it. That's not a pride thing. That's just I'm not going to do that. Okay? But I will if I'm interested, like I think with maturity, I've kind of gotten to the point to where like, okay, I know I'm fine. So if I like you, I'm going to let you know that I like you, right? If you giving me them googly eyes, all right. I'm gonna make the move. So what you want to do? What you want to do? But I'm not gonna fiend after you, and I'm not gonna do nothing like that though. So y'all, my laptop went black. But anyway, so I just feel like I don't know, but that's what she would do. And I feel like she had it out for the young women. You know what I'm saying? Because don't get me wrong, he wasn't really like talking to any of us, you know what I'm saying? He was not like, but he would be cool with everybody. And I feel like anytime that he was ever like chit-chatting with anybody at the desk, she'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like a hater, bro, a hater. And I feel like she was trying to get rid of all the young ones so she could get her chance, because the girls would go first. It was like all the women were on her SHIT list. All of them were on her list. And I was one of the last, I think I was the last woman to go. And the only reason why I say that is because she didn't have no reason to fire me. She didn't have no reason. My metrics was good. I had that big sale. Everything was A1. I'm telling y'all. And I'm not saying it just because, oh, I think I'm just that great of a worker, but I have something to work for. Like I have dependence. You know what I'm saying? So, there comes the day, right? And during this day, I have a day off, right? So I have this day off, and I go see my boo. Well, I go see my boo, and he wasn't really my boo, but I go see, you know, my boo. And then I go to work, and I just felt weird that day. Like I felt like something was off. And for me, I'm very much so, like, I feel like, y'all tell me if y'all are this way. I feel like God shows me things. And I feel like spiritually you can feel things. You know how people say they're empaths? I'll take it a step further, and I will say, when you are connected and God communicates with you, I feel like you feel things move in the spiritual realm, right? And I felt like I felt something move in the spiritual realm. Even before then, I felt like you can feel things brewing. And so I even felt some type of way about not being at work that day. So I have my day off. I come back to work. My badge doesn't work. And the security guard in the front, she's like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, yeah, my badge isn't working. And she was like, oh, what's going on? You know, I was like, I don't know what's going on. So she goes to the back. I wait in the front. And she was like, yeah, your manager's like, she doesn't know what's going on, but she gonna figure this out. And I was like, but they send me home. They don't let me come into work. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because if it was just a badge thing, it was just an error, why I didn't get to clock in and come back into work? What's going on? So a day goes by. I'm calling my manager like, yeah, what's going on? She's like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to find out and I'm going to fight for you. Yada, yada, yada. The lies. The lies. Child. The lies. Okay. But we're going to digress. Okay. So I'm at home and I'm spending time with my child and it's the holidays. And at this point, I'm not even having good holidays. I'm not having good holidays because I'm worried about my job. So now Thanksgiving has passed. And I want to say that Christmas has even passed. Or no, I don't think Christmas passed. I think this happened maybe right before Christmas. Yeah, this happened before Christmas. So I'm not even having good holidays. So like 2 days go by and I'm calling her. And so at this point, I think I call her and they say like, oh, somebody terminated your employment. And I'm like, but for why? For why? For why? What happened? What's going on? So I'm not sure what's going on. At this point, I'm talking to my sister. I'm so emotional because I just moved into this house. I paid deposits. You know how when you move, you pay the deposits for utilities. You pay deposits to get into your home. I bought my furniture. The holidays just happened. I had bought groceries. I mean, so much. I'm paying daycare. Everything. And not only that, but in my mind, in my heart, I'm knowing that there's no way that I could have done anything that caused for me to be terminated, because you know how if there's something you done wrong, you be like, oh shit, they probably done found out that I done did this. No, there was nothing. There was literally nothing. So I'm emotional. And at this point, I'm mass applying. I got bills that are coming up. And of course, I always have money in my savings, but it's like, come on, what's going on? So nobody's hiring during the holiday season. And I'm just like, I barely even, don't get this wrong. The job was not paying that great at that time. It was just paying more than what I got paid at my old job. So even the savings that I had, I didn't have a couple months of rent saved. No, I could pay my utilities. I couldn't pay my rent for another couple of months. No, I didn't have none of that. So I was just like so emotional because I know that there was some things that were going on, and I felt like, what was going on? And then my manager talking about she gonna fight for me. Then I'm remembering I'm not even thinking about everything else that's going on. So I filed for unemployment. My sister's like, girl, go ahead and file for unemployment, because, if they wrongfully terminated you, just figure it out. Just file. So I filed for that. They're like, oh, there's this waiting period. And I'm like, okay, I'm applying. Everybody's like, we're not doing anything until the beginning of the year. I'm like, rent is due at the beginning of the year. What are you talking about? So I'm just like, I'm going to like places to see if they can help me with my rent so that they can help me with utilities. I'm getting the runaround. Nobody is trying to help me with anything. And when I tell you places that should and I qualify to be able to be helped with, they were not helping me. And when I tell y'all that I got story times for that, even like places like DSS, y'all, I have a voicemail. And I don't even want to get on here because I had to report them. I had to report caseworkers. But that they left a voicemail talking about they felt like I didn't deserve to get anything. They felt like I wasn't being truthful about certain things, yada yada yada. Child, the stuff that goes on in the behind, and I ended up calling another worker and saying like, and this was a different situation, but you will not believe the people that deserve to get help and the politics that other even caseworkers will play when you need assistance. So if you feel like you going above and beyond, there are people that you can report them to. So if you feel like somebody you qualify to get benefits, or you qualify to get some assistance and they not helping you, you better go above them. Don't let them play politics with you. Don't let them give you no attitude. That'll cost them their job, child, please. Because they thought they hung up the phone and I got them talking cash money about me. Okay, y'all? So I'm trying to tell y'all, but no. So come turn around. It's the beginning of the year. I ended up finding another job, and I was like, you know what? I found another job, but it's paying close to what it is, but it's part-time. So at this point, I'm just trying to regroup. Unemployment has not come through. It's just taken so long, and I'm just like, I'm so heartbroken. I'm sad. So I get okay, how do I want to start this? So I decide that I'm going to surrender my apartment and I'm going to move back home because I need a game plan at this point. I know that I find out that call centers are really I know that it's not a career, but I'm thinking like with anything, if you work hard and, you do what you got to do, you can work up in a company and whatever. But no, I start to find out like all of these people got fired. You know what I'm saying? Nobody at that company still works at that company. Nobody. I was like one of the last people that was still there. So with the highest turnover rate and everything, I was like, I can't just run and work at another company that's going to do me the same exact way. I need to get a game plan. I need to figure this out. Still in school, still trying to figure everything out. So I said, I'm going to get a part-time job and figure out what it is that I'm going to do. So I decide that I'm going to surrender my apartment and I'm going to move back home and get a game plan. So during this time, I get a call from unemployment. And unemployment says, okay, we got your information and we're investigating, and there's like a call that we're going to have. And this is what they're saying. They're saying that on this particular date that you hung up on a customer on this date, and that's why they terminated your employment. They said that Thotty reported that you hung up on a customer on this particular date. And I said, oh my gosh, did I hang up on a customer? Is it unbeknownst to me? Because, sometimes calls get disconnected. Was that I'm thinking back like, oh my God, like wait, hold up. What date? That was my date that I was off. And then the girl, she was like, are you serious? And I said, that was the day that I was off. And I knew for a fact, and I'm telling you, when I know, and when I told y'all I went to go see my boo that day, I went through my messages. And what day did I roll up was that day. That exact day. And that was the day that my badge did. That was the day. No. I had went to go see my boo it was the day before. So me clocking back on that, and I was like, hold up. No, like, there is no way possible that on my day off that I hang up on a customer. Y'all are tripping. Y'all are lying. And I did not hang up on that customer. Y'all are mad capping. Y'all are capping like on y'all mama, y'all mamas, y'all grandmamas, y'all great granddaddies, y'all lying. And y'all cost me my job and my apartment that I just surrendered and I'm moving out of right now. And so we get on this, and so she knows, but she hold this information in. So we get on the call. It's like it's whatever, because you know they have my old manager. They have another like corporate lady, like HR lady or something like that. So we're listening, and I'm telling I'm not at this point. I'm just listening to what they're saying, but I'm on the call too. So they're having their dialogue. I think I may have said like one or two words, but they don't even realize. They just reiterate that on this day, she released the call, blah, 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 this date, and they made up some phony time, yada, yada, yada. And but at the end of the call, this is what my old manager says, Thotty. She says, I just want to say, oh, hold up. The unemployment lady says, are there any other closing remarks? Thotty gonna say, I just want to say that Miss, my last name, she says, Miss Ross does not deserve to receive any unemployment benefits. Thotty, who are you to tell anybody that? I said, first of all that conversation you were saying about, oh, you're going to fight for me, you the whole corporate behind it. You the corporate, you was behind all of this. First of all, the conversations you had behind you being in my business about me being way too young and having my own apartment. I need to just move back home. You was trying to force me to move back home by you taking food out of my child's mouth and keeping me from being able to pay my rent by getting me to lose my job. So let me tell y'all, haters will be your managers. Haters will be your coworkers. Haters will be older people that are 20 years older than you. Don't underestimate the lengths that they will go to try to hold you down and keep you down. And that's just the real facts. She was whole life hating. Because for you to say a closing remark, because at the end of the day, even if you lost your job from something like that, I would never say that, because you can get unemployment even when you've done something wrong. So why would you say that? And you know I have a child. You know I have rent to pay. Why would you even go and say something like that out of your own ignorant mind? So you've lived 40, almost 50 years of your own life. And common sense didn't even say, or life hasn't taught you better than to open up your mouth and say something like that. I know better than that. I'm 27. So, but let me tell you how good God is, right? So, okay, so I surrender my apartment. Cool. I get up on my feet again. I end up getting, so I turn 19. I get my insurance license. I boss up, get my own apartment. I'm doing all of this stuff. I'm still in school. I blah, 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 blah. Now I'm fast forward years. I'm an software engineer now. I'm doing my own thing, popping. But let me go back a couple of years, right? So I had my son 2016. Now this happened in 2012. Go downstairs. I had my son in 2016. 2016, I started working for a communications company. And this is where God was even just working on me. So I had my youngest son in 2016. So I get this job that was like, at that time, was a bomb job for me. It was at this communications company. And I'm good. I'm doing great. The base is great. I mean, at that time, hold up. They offered me, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all the salary. I'm gonna tell y'all the salary because of this. Because normally I don't disclose any salary, but I'm gonna tell y'all why. Then this one. So I'm working at this communications company. I'm working upstairs. And I get offered $51,000. This is 2016. I get offered $51,000. Now, this is still not a lot, but this is back then, and I'm young. And I'm like, yes, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to do what I got to do so I can take care of my kids. I'm hype. I'm proud I got this job. I'm doing what I got to do. And I'm just so thankful. And mind you, I'm able to make over that because as long as I hit my base, I get an extra 1,500 something as long as I hit goal. And then after that, I get basically dollar for dollar. So I'm even over that. So I'm downstairs. I'm talking to the security at this communications company. And who do I see walk through the door with a busted ass wig on? Thotty. And I look at her and I look at the security guard. I said, is her name blah, 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 blah. She said, oh yeah, she works in finance. And I said, not finance. She works in billing. The billing department. And I said, I used to work for her. And I tell her, because me and the security guard, we cool at this point. I was like, yeah, she got me fired. I tell her the whole thing, right? And she was like, what? Yeah, she was like, I was like, yes. And she was like, girl, it's so crazy because they don't pay nothing in billing. They pay them like maybe like $14, $15, maybe $16. And I'm sitting here with a $51,000 base. And then as long as I hit my goal, then I get an extra $1,500 a month. And then that's where you are. And I'm not saying this like to brag, but I'm just saying when I always say this thing, everybody has their time. Because literally in walking distance from this place, like not walking distance, I would say maybe 5 miles away from this very same office is the office in which she fired me from and did all of that unnecessary stuff. And she's working downstairs from me, making what, $15 or $16 an hour, while I make $51,000 at minimum a year. And then I see you have to see the very same person. And I go upstairs to a job that is higher ranking, that pays a smooth at least $20,000 more than what you pay. Then let me tell you something else. I won with unemployment, and I got a smooth couple thousand from them. And that was just as soon as because there was no investigation that needed to be done. I was not there during the time that you said that I did what I did. And I got a couple thousand from that. So, child, all the malicious stuff that you did really only blessed me. You put me in a better situation. And guess what? When that money rolled in, I had already had my insurance license that bumped me up, not only from the little bit of money that was paying me at that old job, but gave me an actual career that was able to feed me and get me to where I needed to be as a software engineer. I worked as an insurance. Basically, I had that insurance license up until last year, from 19 to 26. And I just let that expire. Shoot, it might still be on there, but I'm not practicing anymore. Like I'm not writing. But the thing is like, you did all of that, and that only blessed me. So I'm telling you this story, though it may be funny, but in the case of Matea getting fired on her day off, like Craig, everything that the enemy plans to use against you to hurt you, God will turn around and use as your blessing. And when he says that he will prepare the table before you in the presence of your enemies, I'm telling you that you will see those very same people while you're being blessed. And you'll be like, bro, okay. And then now I'm a whole life engineer. Now, child. And then now I'm here to share this story with y'all. And then the table will keep being blessed and keep being built. Adding on, adding on, adding on. Okay, and then when I hit millions on YouTube, okay, I hope you come across this video, girl, and I don't wish anything bad on you. Actually, I pray for you, and I pray for your daughter, and I pray for your family, and I wish that you see more. I wish that you have success in your life. I wish that you do. So y'all, that's about the story time that I got fired on my day off, and it actually was one of the biggest blessings that I ever could have in my life. And it taught me so much about myself, my resilience, and it taught me about to get a trade where I could, do what I had to do. Okay, y'all. So I hope y'all love this story time. I know it's mad long, but I hope y'all got a couple laughs out of it. And if y'all have ever got fired and y'all got some funny ass story times, I know y'all do, let me know. Bye.